Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the ARL Formula V Championship final round here live on Apex Racing TV. My name is Andy Thompson. I'm joined in the commentary booth with Mr. Sam Fitzpatrick, and on production behind the scenes we have Samuli Kumo. So we're around this track here, Road Atlanta short track, so probably the best of this track. We just cut off the back end section of the normal size of this track and have all the interesting bends to contend within this championship. So really looking forward to this round. 3 rounds, 15 minutes. Should be quite hectic, Sam.
For sure, and it's a layout that we really don't visit too often. I think I've only commentated on one race on this specific layout over the past few years, and I mean, when you look at the track map, it looks a bit like an oval, doesn't it? Almost, with a chicane maybe added onto it. It is a bit more complex than that, but it's still very high speed, not many braking areas, and a great chance at a photo finish. If we don't get a photo finish in one of the 3 races tonight, then I'll be very surprised.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously you got the treacherous turns 2, 3, 4 as they go down the hill, which should be interesting in these cars. Should see a lot of side-by-side action as we look at the championship. So the championship is really up for grabs there, as we see Jan-Philippe Jank at the head of the field at the moment on a slender lead, 1,058 points, with Jaco Behrens just behind on his tail 1022, and then you've got Alexander Skret in third place on 1012. So, you know, it's anyone's bet in who's going to win the Pro Championship out of them three. And then we got, you know, Daniel Sibyl-Savo is obviously hot on the heels with Aaron Smith. So, you know, as we've seen in previous rounds of this championship, you know, it's so topsy-turvy in every single sort of end of the round. We've had somebody else new at the top of the standings, so it's certainly going to be interesting, and including in the AMs as well. We've got Prishna Prava at the top on 937, with Pedro Dominguez just behind him on 905. Jarrett Will just slightly behind on 882. So both the Pro and the AMs championship is still up for grabs. A lot of points to be had. 3 races tonight. Should be very interesting, Sam.
Yeah, and Pravda isn't here tonight as well, pulling out of the championship, I believe. So, of course, that really changes the complexion of that one, gives Dominguez an ideal shot at the titles, because whilst Pravda's drop plan isn't bad, it's not going to be good enough for him to stay ahead of the rest of the drivers. So, yeah, Dominguez will maybe, even Fowler and Sabo, and maybe even Simon Ball, who's been on a good run of form, could take that amateur championship. It's going to be really tricky for us guys to keep you up to date with it, but we'll try to update the standings just at the end of race 3 to get a good picture of it. Currently qualifying in progress. Good to see Adjuson's back. I know he took part in Charlotte, but we saw him missing for a few rounds recently, so it's good to see Jensen's back. His brother Dara also around for this round, and he is just 4 1,000s ahead of Alexander Skret, of course one of the contenders for the Pro title, but still plenty more time to go, and we kind of get an idea as we ride on board with Jacko Burns just how long that flat out section is. It's not necessarily a straight, but you're on thoughts of probably the best part of 20, maybe even 30 seconds before that one chicane, and then once again it's another 20-second flat out section.
Yeah, definitely. So it should be, you know, good ample room here for slipstreaming. Obviously we've cut out the back corner as we saw him go down through turn 2, 3, 4. 5 would normally go left on the full track. This obviously you go right, cut off that bit of section of the track, and then come down into the chicane at the bottom of the hill. So, you know, there should be plenty of slipstream going on around that long straight after turn 5, coming down into the hairpin, and should see some really close racing here tonight as we see Jacko Behrens taking an alternate line, and Flavio Andalo sort of follow him, I think there. So a bit of white line fever and just following the car in front, but as we see Smith go to the top of the standings with a 1:10.35. So they were doing about a 1:09 was the fastest in the practice session that I was just watching just before this race. So I'd expect to be the drivers getting down to that standard, but you can certainly use other cars to your advantage here, as we see the big long train of cars trying to get that extra bit of slipstream, to get them a couple of tenths a second that make all the difference. And as we've seen in this championship before, it's vital to get that decent qualifying place for the first race, which puts you in good stead. But race 2 and 3 is where this championship is certainly going to be won or lost with the reverse grids that we have. I believe it's 12 places for race 2 and 14 places for race number 3. So, you know, you get down into the middle pack, Sam, and you're in the hands of the gods, I suppose, trying to get through and make sure you get through the first lap.
Yeah, and the turn 1 as well at this circuit of the race start in particular can often be a bit problematic. So yeah, it's going to be tricky for the top guys, and of course drive it with a smart head. Of course, the championship leader Yank are probably going to be able to take or probably going to be more cautious than maybe some of his rivals. Good to see Aaron Smith currently at the top there, albeit just slowing down on this. I might have one more attempt to go, but Smith, double race winner in the amateur class in the first round of the Formula Renault 2.0 Championship back on Saturday, so he's continuing that very good form. And we're seeing this kind of teamwork from the IGL Coatings e-racing cars, where they really try to drive these qualifying sessions in tandem. They realise how important that draft is, and they try to absolutely nail it off one another. But it's tricky tricky stuff to do in Okayama. They really lost out trying to do this tactic because they spent so much of the session trying to get each other in order that they never actually got a clean lap in. They have already got some decent laps in, and Skurret just sitting a little bit far back, but I don't think he's too far back to really get the draft from there. So again, I think they've quite nailed that distance quite right.
Yeah, definitely, and unfortunately you got Rod and Buck in between them now, but obviously managing to get past him, which will compromise his line into the first corner. So yeah, we definitely, it's been a bit of hit and miss, but it's good that obviously having teammates in the same championship, you can try and work together, and these cars are quite strong on the slipstream effect. So if you do get it right, then you will get a big slingshot from the car in front of you. So, you know, we'll see if it pays off. At the moment, they're sat in third and fourth place, Skurret and Behrens in fourth. So, you know, not that far off the lead. Behrens a little bit back, but Skurret is only 0.024 off the lead of Smith at the moment. As we can see, we've only got 14 times at the moment. We have got a few of the drivers that are obviously serving pit lane starts tonight. So in this championship, we do have a protest system that if the drivers feel aggrieved for anything that happens in the races, can go to a impartial steward that basically looks at incidents and awards points. So we do have quite a few that are serving a pit lane start. That's why we're only seeing 14 out of a field of 20. So those guys will be starting in the pits, and as we've seen in the back end, some of the guys that come on the commentary, Sam, have actually said that's actually not a hindrance in this race because of, as we've seen before, the carnage that can ensue off the grid.
Yeah, and you've got different pit lanes throughout the season where sometimes you can literally come out of the pit lane for pit lane start right behind the pack, and sometimes you're sat maybe 10 seconds behind. I'm not quite sure what the story is here at Road Atlanta, seeing that it's such a long pit lane. I can see maybe there being a bit of a bigger disadvantage. But yeah, often you can just avoid any mess through turn one and still have a very good race. I think if you're going for the championship though, you desperately don't want to be serving a pit lane start. You want to be at the front, you want to be able to score big points in all the races. As Janka, championship leader, I assume this is going to be an improvement. He's getting the shortest run to the line. He does move up to fourth place, so it's not quite pole position for the German, but that's a nice position for him to be in fourth position, and just as the checkered flag comes out.
Yeah, definitely, that was perfect timing there as we head to race number 1 of 3 for tonight's 15-minute races. And obviously the start will be all important. So as we look at the grid at the moment, we've got Aaron Smith sat on pole, Jensen Adjunson in second place, Alexander Skurret third, Philip Jank, our Pro Championship leader, in fourth, Jacob Behrens second in the Pro Championship in fifth, Gabo Sabo in sixth, top of the AMS, Jack Reeves seventh, Flavio Andalo in eighth, Jack Parisi in 9th, Mark Charpentier in 10th, Pedro Dominguez in 11th, Russ Fowler currently in 12th. Then we have Jay Walsh in 13th, Alex Rodderbook in 14th, and then we've got the pit lane starters, so Thomas Sorensen, Simon Ball, Dara Adjusson, Daniel Silva-Savo, Jarrett Will, and Muriel Haraski, who I don't believe had a pit lane start, but decided to start in the pit. So hopefully he does join the race here in race number 1. Always a strong contender in any of the races. So how you see this one going, Sam?
Well, it should be a good one. Well, I just a quick one on Haraski. He did have a pit lane start to serve, but there was a typo, unfortunately, in our penalty sheet. So it didn't initially come up, but he did eventually get that a couple of pit lane starts for Haraski tonight, so it might be a long evening. But no, I'm just looking forward to this title because remember the championship difference, Janka at the top, 36 points ahead of Behrens, who's another 10 points ahead of Skurret. They're really the three main rivals. Civi-Sab, who might have a chance, maybe Smith as well, but they'd need some apocalyptic driving from the guys ahead in order to catch up. And of course, in the amateurs, we need to watch out for Dominguez, who is at the top, Will in second place, about 23 points behind, so a little bit of a margin there, and then also Fowler and Sabo right on their tail. So keep an eye out for all those drivers. It could be a very close couple of championships.
Yes, as we get ready to start race number 1 with Aaron Smith on pole position. Will he get away well? let's have a look at his start. So manages to get away, seems to get a good clean start. All the top four seem to get a good clean start as Adrianson tries to come alongside him, but obviously that inside line into turn one is very crucial as they fight for their positions and to get that perfect line coming through turn number one. So it's Smith managing to keep it, Skurek getting up to second, Behrens in third, Adrianson in fourth, and Janka in fifth. So obviously the championship contenders at the moment, Behrens at the front of it, with Skurek in second in championship and third overall. So pretty clean start to the race. So I'm happy to see that it is. Hopefully I haven't just commentator cursed as they make the way down to turn 3 and 4 and coming around turn 5 now, the long right-hander with the long back straight. So we should see some slipstream effect happening with these cars coming down here, and I expect to see some diving and some late entries going in to the chicane as we see just in front of us.
Yeah, this could be getting tasty heading into this next corner. We've got 3 wide for a couple of the teammates involved in this one, and that's a sweeping move off the circuit though. Was that Yanka? No, it was Andalo, sorry, Andalo. He had a very good night in this around the circuit last night in the Spec Racer Ford, and he unfortunately is dropping down, and now big content, and that's Dominguez, leader of the Amateur Championship. Now, how much damage does he have? He does have a faster pair at his disposal, and Russ Fowler was also involved in that incident. So that is a big change right away for Dominguez, and Doug Fowler as well was third place in the Amateur Championship. So that could be very good news for Jarrett Will.
Yeah, definitely. And at the moment, the lead-in is Savo, who's in third place in the AM at the moment, in 6th place. So his rivals around him seem to be obviously getting into a bit of an issue. As we saw Dominguez there getting into Fowler, and he's back in 18th place at the moment. So Savo will getting some valuable points off this round to close in on that amateur championship, as we currently watch Thomas Sorensen in 17th with Dominguez in 18th. So Dominguez needs to try to get up. It looks like his car doesn't look too badly damaged, which is fortunate. It gives him an opportunity to try and fight back up to the front. But looking at the front of this race now, Aaron Smith obviously leading from the front at the moment, but Jacko Behrens obviously 3 places from where he started in the grid. Excellent start for Jacko in 2nd place there on Aaron Smith, and he's pushing himself with Jensen that was in 2nd place, just getting down to 4th place, as trying to get past, as he does get past Alexander Skurek for 3rd place at the moment. So all action going around the first corner. Very treacherous in that corner. It's a bit deceiving as we see a kind of background there going off very wide into turn 1. But these top 4 at the moment starting to pull away slightly from the rest of the field, with Behrens actually managing to get past Smith going up to turn number 2. It looks like there, and Anderson in 3rd place.
Yeah, and the driver who went off was Parisi, so I think Parisi was 7th through 8th, then he's now dropped down to 10th place, struggling to get back onto circuit as well. Burns able to get past Smith at turn 1, and they're fighting ever so hard. Come on guys, it's a long way to go. It's a 15-minute endurance race in this circumstance, because you can see the draft effect. They all just go 2 by 2, and we're going to see lots of changes throughout. No one's going to be strong enough to break the draft. But Skurek there just positioning his car well. It's all about just learning in these early stages what the best line to take on the final lap is. And it's going to be an IGL Coatings iRacing 1-2 across the line. Look at Yankee, he comes from nowhere, catches up to these guys massively on that outside. He gained by 1.4 seconds. That's a combination of these guys fighting and also just picking up the draft as well. Now the IGL Coatings car is kind of defending the entire circuit, but all this batsing is costing them time, and Sharp and T8 is with these drivers. You've got Gabor Sabo, who could be in for a huge points haul in the amateur category if he could get up on the overall podium, and kind of that rounds out our top 7 pack. Also Jay Walsh with these guys.
Yeah, we saw there the power of that slipstream effect. So Skurek obviously coming up and taking 2 places, coming down into the hairpin that we're going into now. Managed to keep it tight on the outside, but getting the inside for the 2nd turn in, and taking 2 places. So like you say, an IGL coating 1-2, but if Smith has got anything to say about this, he's not going to let him have it, so I guess in between the two of them at the moment and manages to take second place back. Smith very fast on this track, and you know he's come of age, I think, in this car a little bit, Sam. You know, he's not in championship contention really for the top space, but you know what he's done in the last 3 rounds is he's sort of mastered this car, and each one of the last 3 rounds he's actually won a podium position in there, so he's certainly got to grips with his cars as we watch them all again in a big gaggle coming around turn 1. I'm just hoping that they can keep it clean, because there'd be nothing worse than losing the championship over an incident. So let's have a nice clean race, guys, and let's get the racing done on the track and not in the pit walls and that.
Yeah, I think Janka's in a good position at the moment. He's just sitting behind in 5th position, whilst Behrens and Stewart are really putting their cars at risk. Janka knows that they're not getting away. They're passing too much. Saying that, Janka now actually absolutely attacking. Smith just glitching out for a moment there. He does reappear, does that green and black car. Oh, contact there. Is Smith going to be able to make the corner? Is he going to run wide? Oh, he's done well to make that one, because well, if you do pick up a slowdown, you might be at threat of dropping away from the pack. It gives Behrens a bit of a cushion now against the rest of the Jazz gap, up to 9/10 of a second as Scuret tries to overtake. And I mean, Scuret could potentially battle these guys a lot and try to kind of hold them up and allow his teammate Behrens to take the race win. Not sure if that will be feasible or not. But well, they are certainly still battling. Smith trying to hold the inside line. Then you have this very awkward turn 2, turn 3, where it's tricky to know exactly where your opponent's going to drive, but Smith does keep that second position, but the gap now to the lead is 1.6 seconds, and that is out of draft region. So Behrens has the opportunity here to break away and maybe take this race win.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be good if we could just get on board with Jank going down this bit, just to see the power of that slipstream effect. One of the drivers, as we can see, is a bit further away now, but you know, watch how quickly he closes up towards the end, coming down into the hairpin here. I mean, just the overspeed on these cars is insane as he dives down the inside there, takes 1 position. He's going to be right on the back now of 2nd, 3rd and 4th going in. So I think he's just biding his time, Sam, exactly that, just letting the guys in front fight it out, knowing the power of the car, what he needs to do. And there's still quite a long way to go in this race, so he's probably expecting these front drivers to have a battle royale in front, and gives the opportunities for a possible incident, for him to take places nice and easy. But I wouldn't imagine he'd be leaving it too much longer to try and get up into the front running spaces at the moment. But as you see, willing to bide his time at the moment, not letting them get away and just picking his lines, and probably just waiting for that opportunity there as a great line through turn number 2, and he undertakes who was that? That was Marco Charpentier, and has currently got Aaron Smith, our race pole sitter, who's currently right in front of him. So you know, the power of this slipstream is just immense.
Yeah, and all that batting in, that's kind of spread them out more now than they have been for the entire race. And trying to get along, so he's got a bit of the side draft there. If you're the kind of the car just behind, you usually benefit from the side draft, but Janka doing the wise thing. Oh, mistake just ahead then from Adjensons, getting a bit of oversteer, and he will drop back, and now Smith is going off the circuit, albeit carried good speed nonetheless. Adjenson's going to have a bit of a slowdown here to serve, so he may drop behind Charpentier as well. That's quite a big mistake there from Jensen's, honestly, after not a bad lap to kind of move up into that position. And now was that just Janka moving ahead of Smith as well, so up into 3rd position now is Janka, but Smith again is coming back, and this is kind of handing the win right now to IGL Coatings, because they've now got a 1-2, and not only has Behrens been able to jump up the way, but also Scuretz as well. So I'm not really sure why these guys have allowed them to do that. They've got the pace to keep up, but being consumed in their own battling has kind of handed the race win to the Norwegians, and it's going to be very good for their championship.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, be working strongly together, will the IGL Coatings racing guys. You know, 1st and 2nd at the moment, and it's exactly like you said. You know, the 1st place Jank at the moment, Smith, Adjinson. You know, they're just jostling for positions back there as we watch him free ride coming down in there. Jensen taking a really tight line, getting a really quick entry and exit out that corner, and getting a little bit of ground over Jank behind him. So that was a really good set of corners that he took there, managing to pull out a little bit. But these guys definitely are fighting really hard just to try and get the top spot at the moment in this space, which is third, but letting Behrens and Scarrett at the moment scoot off into the distance, as it were. But one of the things, Savo in 6th place still, our top amateur rider is heavily in the mix here in this top of the grid, so an outstanding first round for Savo, which will give him a really good points haul for the AM Championship.
Just looking at the amateur championship going into this round, Sabo was about 70 points off, so he's probably out of, well, that's too fair, Dominguez, who was much smaller than that. So yeah, he's still got a chance, says Sabo, with this points haul, it looks like, as very wide again, pretty much the same story as what we've had on all the other laps. Is Janka going to go down the middle here? That would be very risky. He did the wise thing, backs out of it. Sharp and TA might get past him. It's a very tricky situation for Janka because he can't really win from this situation. Best he'll get his 3rd position in this race and lose a few points to his 2 main championship rivals in Behrens and Scarrett. But the worst case scenario is that he ends up in a wall and barely scores or finishes down in 19th position and doesn't get many points at all. So he's got to be careful here, but cannot afford to leave points on the table either. As we see Andelo, after a problematic start actually for Andelo, he's been able to storm back really well. That last lap wasn't particularly strong for him, but he has at least got past Jay Walsh, who's up to 8th.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Dominguez in 18th is not making any progress at all, so he must have some damage on that car. He's sat in 18th after his spin, and basically hasn't moved anything. It looks like he's losing time, so I think he's got to have damage. You can sort of hear on the car, it's not revving as the rest of the cars are revving, so certainly got some damage. Obviously feeling like he shouldn't go into the pits to repair. Certainly now he won't. But obviously first place in the AMs with Pushta Prava not racing in this round, it's a bit of a disaster for him. And the reverse grid at the moment sitting with Haraski on pole, he's still going to be starting in 18th for race number 2, so a bit of a disaster for Dominguez at the moment. Will at the moment just off the reverse grid pole from behind Haraski as well, so he will start in 13th. So for Salvo, it's playing into his hand. I know you were saying he's 70 points down, but with his main contenders being right at the back of the field, it's going to be a massive point haul in this first race, and it all depends on what happens in the next one. So Haraski currently sat in the reverse grid pole, but obviously the big battle at the moment is over that 3rd place position with Smith, Adrianson, Jank, Savo all fighting out for that top 3rd place, or the last place on the podiums. But Behrens and Scarrett, they're not even in the view, Sam, so they've absolutely scampered off the front of the pack. They've got away from these as we just see them going around the corners now, but big gap between there, so these guys are certainly fighting over 3rd place.
Yeah, no chance for them as Janka is up to 3rd position now for the time being. Just got 2 more laps to go for these drivers, and you can really be anywhere on this. Going onto the back straight for the farm time, you could be 5th in line, and you could just get a really good exit as Smith is going very defensive. I'm just amazed how much these guys are fighting, honestly. It's race 1. They just lost each other a bunch of time. You can't defend to the end of the race, and yet they're fighting like if you get overtaken, you get eliminated from the race immediately. It's very odd stuff. Well, it's good entertainment, at least for us. And Saber actually just dropping back a little bit there, but of course you'll see just gets on the throttle and will be able to tow back if he so wishes, but he's being a bit passive at the moment, so it may be a wise thing to do. If anything, he's just saying all these guys, but he does let Jay Walsh ahead. That means Walsh is leading the amateur class, so I don't think he wants to let that many cars go, but like I said, there's still plenty of time for him to respond in this race 1.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's exactly what you say with Jan-Philippe Jenkins currently in sick bay. Oh, big incident there. Aaron Smith getting hit there, taken out around the last chicane. So that's terrible news for Aaron Smith, and obviously pulling it down the field, currently back in 9th place now, but that puts him out of contention for that fair play. So we'll give a little bit more breathing space now to Adrianson. Andelo, man, getting up to 4th place. Where's he come from? Walsh in 5th place now, getting passed by Jank, but I think he's positioned for that 3rd place spot, Sam, is going to be, you know, tooth and nail all the way to the line, just constantly changing. It's anybody's guess who's going to get that 3rd place.
Well, they're spread out a little bit now, so Atkinson's with a half a second gap over Andela. Yanker just a little bit too far back to get a real good slipstream, so I think Yanker may have to set up a 5th, which wouldn't be too bad for him. But now Atkinson's just running a little bit wide there, if anything, and Angelo's just going to go straight underneath him, so maybe Atkinson's just waiting for the run to the line, perhaps, in order to get past, but he just seemed very slow through the long right-hander, doing pretty much nothing. Yeah, Yanker's going to be under pressure for his 5th position, going to have to go defensive, as Behrens is going to take the race 1-1.
Yeah, absolutely. Got out in front, managed to break that little toe that he had, and never looked back. And his teammate Alexander Skrek taking a very welcomed 2nd place, but it's interesting to see who gets this 3rd place. At the moment, Andelo gets it after Jank in 4th. Walsh is top of our AMS in 5th, Savile in 6th, Charpentier 7th, Adrianson, other brother, in 8th, Smith obviously in 9th after his spin coming down to the chicane. So interesting first race there, and on the whole, Sam, pretty clean. I was quite impressed with the guys. I wasn't expecting it to be this clean in this championship, as we've often seen before, but that was an exceptional round, and the drivers paying a lot of respect to each other, considering how close they were.
Yeah, I wonder if you could get a quick replay of what happened to Atkinson's just at the end there, because he dropped from 3rd position down to 8th, but we're going to transition over to the console, or to the race 2, and I think we're going to lose the replay, unfortunately. So that is the pain of the heat racing format, is that we always lose these as the session does progress, and we head straight into race 2, 12-car reverse grid. It means Fowler has taken a reverse grid pole, and Haraski in 2nd position, I believe, has another pit lane start to serve, so he'll be not occupying that spot. So Fowler's going to have a little bit of an advantage heading into turn 1 compared to the others.
Yeah, so we'll quickly run through the grid. Russ Fowler top at the moment in pole position. Haraski, obviously, like I said, we'll start in the pit lane, so it should be empty. Daniel Savile in 3rd, Aaron Smith 4th, Jensen Adrianson in 5th, Michael Charpentier in 6th. He should be a pit lane starter as well. Gabriel Savile in 7th, Jay Walsh in 8th, Jan-Philippe Jank currently back in 9th place at the moment, Flavio Andelo in 10th, Alexander Skrek 11th, Jacob Behrens in 12th, Alex Rodenbuck in 13th, Pedro Dominguez 14th, Thomas Sorensen in 15th, Jack Reeves 16th, Jarrett Will, Jacob Parisi, Simon Ball, and Dara Hudson at the rear of the field. So we should see a couple of spaces free as we just get under the red flag conditions, getting ready to start. So this should pay into Fowler's hand here. We're not having a car next to him. He should get a good getaway, as gives a clean air to Smith and to Silva Savile in 2nd behind him. So as we look here, as Adrianson gets up 2 places off the start of that grid, currently in 3rd place, started in 5th place. So they all transition around the first corner, keeping it nice and clean at the moment, as we see Silva Savile trying to push Fowler out a little bit wide and try and take that first base, and he manages to get it done. Fowler pushes a little bit wide, which could open him up to the pros that are just behind him, queuing up to trying to take him, as we see Alexander Skrek taking an off-road route around turn number 2 and 3 coming down the hill, so he'll be losing places and currently back in 17th place at the moment. But you know, keeping it nice clean. Rodenbuck taking a little bit slightly wide in turn 5 and managing to keep the car planted on the road and not spin off, but just jostling for the position here, and a great move there from Behrens through the middle up into P8, obviously up 4 places from where he started on the grid. So just trying to cut his way back through the field, as we saw very quick in race 1. So it'll be interesting to see how he can make his way through the field.
Smith took the lead as well, so past Sebi Savage, Charpentier already up there as well. I think all those drivers near the front should be able to hold their own, honestly. So if we see a nice big pack racing along, yeah, but as you say, good start for Burns, great start for Ball as well, up 10 places. And and Sharpened here now having to getting past Fowler, but he's off the circuit, going to have to try to rejoin safely. Oh, he's all over the place, and that was very close for Janka. That could have easily been Janka, who, remember, is the championship leader. Could have easily been wiped out there. As of course, we've got Ball just having to take the shortcut as well. I believe that will be a slowdown. So Sharpened here really did the hard work off the start. You know, he was up into 3rd position, but ran too wide through turn 1, and that's now really dropped him down the order. So he'll be kicking himself for that. Behrens now up to 6th position and just behind Janka. And of course, we'll remember in the overall championship, main 3 rivals, Janka, Behrens, along with Scuret as well. With Scuret having that problem at the start of this race too, very much looking like a 2-way battle. Behrens behind Janka at the moment in the championship, but if he can put a few cars between him, he'll give himself a fighting chance in race 2, as Dominguez, of course, going for the amateur championship. He's making contact with Adriansons at the moment, of the Dow variety. He started way back. He's up 9 places already, is the Belgian, and yeah, Dominguez dropping down the order.
Yeah, so looking at the AM Championship, we're looking at Savo, we're looking at Dominguez, Will as well, and Dominguez and Will at the moment down in 13th and 15th place, with Savo again doing exceptionally well. It seems to have mastered this race. We watched Simon Ball taking a very wide exit there on turn 1. I think the problem with this track is, Sam, is obviously that turn 2 is very much a blind crest, so you literally got to make sure that you know the line you're taking, and it's very hard when you Dominguez. Oh no, but Dominguez gets taken out again in the 2nd race. 2
and
races
Will's
in a
off as
row.
well. And Paul's off again. Paul's had like 3 offs in about 3 corners. And Walsh, who had such a good race 1, has also dropped down.
I mean, this is going to pay into Savo's hands here. I mean, the top 3 in the AMs just took each other out, coming down turn number 2 and 3, as we see there. And wow, that was just I think they all just picked each other up, starting from the top of the incident. We just cascading down like a dominoes effect down the bottom. But as we see, Simon Ball's car is pretty much done. Dominguez will be done, and Will. So they're the top contenders for the AM, just wide open. And Savo seems to be taking it at the moment with both hands.
And the top 2 have broken away then. So I was hoping that we'd have, you know, a big train, but I think as all these guys have been fighting, I think Smith and Siri Sabro has been able to pull away. They were second faster than these drivers on that last lap, but Behrens is now to the front of it, and he's very much left Janka behind. He just seems to, I think he's got the pace tonight. I mean, he was 2/10 off qualifying. We know that he's very quick, but I think he's just, you know, leaving some extra room whilst Behrens is throwing caution to the wind, and it's just putting Janka in the pack at the moment, and he can see his main rival getting away. But remember, as long as Janka just gets a couple of more top 5 tonight, he should be all right, as Atkinson moves back ahead of Behrens. And, you know, you can switch positions effectively and gain yourself some time, but you got to work together, guys. They've been able to pull a gap now to the drivers behind 2 seconds. But they don't need to fight one another, they just need to be working in tandem to catch up to the leaders. But, well, instead they're defending, losing each other time and losing each other the chance of winning the race. So this isn't very good at the moment.
Yeah, but what Behrens is doing to Jank in 6th place is he's putting him under a lot of pressures. Unless Jank's obviously a computer in that car and can work out all the points and where he currently stands, he's not going to know where he sits within the championship. As we watch Gebo Sabo getting off as well, so doing really well, and unfortunately tumbling down the leaderboard. So top AM, or the top place AM at the moment, or was there, is now currently in 13th place. So in a flash of an eye, he goes from the front of the field right down to the back. So just in front of Dominguez and Will at the moment. So Will and Dominguez will be happy as we watch 3 car wide coming down into hairpin, as we've got Jank in the middle of this trio of cars with Anderson on the outside. Backs out a little bit, but it's going to be putting him under pressure, Jank, because you can see that Behrens is in front of him and quite a few places in front. So it's almost going to force him to try and drive aggressively to get them places back, which could force a mistake, which at the moment Behrens is doing everything he possibly can to try and win this Pro Championship.
As he got very wide, Janka would love to see these guys all take each other out. Oh, well, that's 2 of them, so that helps. because that was Fowler and Reeve, was it? Oh, contact there, though. I think was that who Skurret? Sharpened tears off the circuit, and now there's contact, and that's with Fowler. Well, that's excellent for Janka. So a couple behind him crashed, a couple in front of him crashed. I wonder if we could get like a chopper view of all of that, because I don't think I spotted all of it. Welcome back under the radar up to the top of the amateur drivers now, and also Sabo's going to get back one of those places, but this was absolute chaos. And there you go, you kind of got Fowler maybe moving across, Sharpened Tears maybe moving across. Once again, Janka coming so close to danger, and they managed to come together for a second time as well. So Fowler somehow, with all his wheels on his wagon, still going, despite a couple of big contacts.
Yeah, that was a crazy 2 or 3 corners there. We saw probably on stream there about 7 cars having incidents. We had very little in the first race. This second race has certainly heated up a lot more, but like you said, Jan-Philippe Jank profiting out of everyone else's misfortunes, and is currently up in 5th place, so only just behind Behrens in the championship. So that will make it a lot more easier for him to swallow and understand where we are as we watch here. 3-car wide going into turn 1. We've seen this before, guys. It doesn't always work, as we see Dominguez there in the middle, trying to just get back his place and trying to fight with Savo to get that top of the AM standings at the moment sorted. So we've got Willem Rodenberg, who's, like I said before, he's just a consistent driver as Rodenberg, keeping his nose clean. He's currently leading the AM Championship in P9, all behind him, and then you have this battle here with Will, Sabo and Dominguez. So all the top contenders for the AM Championship all in a row here, and that obviously really helps Dominguez out, being that they won't have too many points lost at the moment as we ride on board Jack Parise. So we see a full cinematic view of what happens here going into the hairpin as we go 2 wide.
Ooh, that was very close, wasn't it? With Will almost getting hit from Dominguez. Well, sprinting like a quick Sabo manages to get away from all of these drivers, leaving them in his dust. Parise could get a good run. Parise, who was running very well in race 1, remember, as well, but had an off at turn 1, and it dropped him down the order, and that's affected his starting position for race 2 as well. So Parise much better than his position would suggest, as there's almost contact wheel to wheel once again. As you were saying, everyone kind of that blind turn 2-3 is causing problems. Fowler now runs off the circuit. Where is he going to rejoin? Thankfully, safely, but he drops to the back of this chain.
Yeah, definitely. I think, well, I thought Dominguez might be playing a little bit of a game here, because obviously the reverse grid pole for this second round, tie coming off the ground there, is P14. So he was sat in P14. I wondered if he was going to go for that reverse grid pole position, which is currently being occupied by Fowler at the moment, but certainly these guys were going to be at the front of it. Oh, big issue there. Dominguez going in. So all 3 of them, was that 3 of them? So
I think Fowler got through, or Dominguez got through, sorry, that was it.
I think Dominguez hit into the back of Fowler, I think it was there, and luckily managing to keep his car on the road, but that could have been disastrous for him, as Philippe Jank managing to get down to 7th place at the moment. So under real pressure here from Skurret and Dara Adriansons in 6th place. So all of us, we watch here coming down to the hairpin.
This was a mistake then from Janka. Wow, he had a full-on spin. Contact from behind as well. That might be affecting him. So Janka was in a decent position there, because I think he was racing with Huraski at the time. But yeah, spun round, and he was on course to only drop a couple of positions there, a few points to Behrens, but instead he's kind of put that in doubt now. He seems to have decent pace because he's been able to get back past Skurret. But yeah, so he hasn't got too much sustained damage there, but Janka's not making this one easy for himself. Quick shout out, by the way, to Virtual Racing School, one of the sponsors for this series. Virtual Racing School offering over 50 data packs for a variety of road and oval cars. Each of those data packs includes setups, track guides, data analysis software, and one-on-one coaching. So you can get a tutorial lap from a pro-level driver, and you can compare your telemetry to the telemetry of that pro driver and really identify exactly where you're losing out. And of course, all those tutorials follow the official series, so all the tracks that they visit are very relevant. So do check out virtualracingschool.com for more details on that.
Yeah, definitely, as we watch the battle here for first place between Smith and Civi Savile. You know, nothing between them, but they are quite a far ahead of third place at the moment, about 5 seconds behind his Behrens in third. So these two guys out on their own at the moment, and like I said before, Sam, you know, Aaron Smith, it seemed to be in the last 3 rounds, has managed to win one of the rounds. So I wonder if it's going to happen again. But if Civi Savile is that close to behind him, he's certainly not going to make it easy for the Brit in first place at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm really not sure. I think it's 50-50. He's going to take it. Civi Savile could easily overtake Smith if he wants to, but of course he may want to be behind until the last moment and then get the run to the line. As we tune back in on this battle, so Scuret getting back past Janka, and now he's going to get back past, or not back past, passed for the first time, I think, Adjinsons. And this is very impressive from Scuret, because remember he spun on lap 1, way down the order, pretty much plumb last. And to move back up to 6th position is very impressive. Probably not going to be a championship contender. Burns and Janko are going to be quite far ahead of him heading into race 3 tonight. But still a very resilient effort as Adjinsons and Burns. In fact, actually in 3rd and 4th batting a lot. And of course still these guys are batting. Janko just sitting behind. But Adjinsons wants this 6th position back if he possibly can. How deep on the brakes is he going to go? Deep enough, cuts a lot of the corner, and that's slow down territory. He's lucky to get away with that.
Yeah, he seems to be really quick on that corner. A couple of corners we've
no, he did get that slow down.
He got one, didn't he? But he does seem to be pushing on that corner, and if it's between him and another car, he normally comes out top. Obviously, came second best there with the slowdown, but certainly showed the line to the other drivers of the fast line through that corner. Obviously not that tight because he got a slow down, but in previous laps he has done exceptional. But these guys at the front obviously just fighting it out over them as we watch the battle here between Dominguez and Will. So Dominguez just met, sorry, Fowler, fighting it quite hard. So these guys have been fighting it out for pretty much all this race, hitting each other, and a few incidents between themselves, but somehow miraculously managing to keep their cars in one piece and still be able to drive around the track is quite amazing, because some of the hits they've had have been quite hard. But Dominguez obviously fighting for that championship, currently down in P12. His nearest one probably to him is Savile, who's currently managed to get his place back up to 10th place, obviously after having a spin during the mid part of this race. But at the moment it's still Roddenbuck that's out in front. But this battle at the front is going on right to the end. I think it's going to go right to the end of the line between Aaron Smith and Daniel Savile of Indy Autosport Racing here. So it's going to be it'll be the last lap this one, I think, Sam. So this will be the last chance for Daniel Savile to try and get past him. And like you said, he may be biding his time close enough to get that slipstream coming down into the hairpin.
Yes. So yeah, he's too close. I think he wants to be a little bit further back than this. Smith is going super duper defensive, but well, he's got part of his car alongside, so he'll have the inside line. But again, is that where you want to be, or do you want to be trailing coming out of the chicane? We're about to find out, but it's Civi Savile who leads with 4 corners to go.
Yeah, definitely coming into the last chicane. Let's see if Aaron Smith can try and get up. And he's, oh, they've contacted! No, last chicane, gents. Oh, can he get it going? Aaron Smith looks like he's got his a bit of damage on his car. Civi Savile managing to
it's going to be close. Burns is going to win this one. Burns managing to overtake all of them. He ousted Adjinsons as well, and Jakob Burns giving himself a shot at the title tonight by taking the race to victory from absolutely nowhere, and that is a miraculous thing for him there. And with Janka down in 7th place, this championship is going down to the wire.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and somebody just answered his prayers. You know, that incident, a bit unfortunate between Smith and Civi Savile. Civi Savile managing to recover a lot better than Smith and keeping that 2nd place. But Behrens, you know, just in front of him, and that says how easy this championship, and I think it's been like this all season, Sam, is that, you know, it's never over till you finish that pass that finish flag before you get Behrens obviously starting P12 in that last race and managing to get the race win. So he's done his championship contention for that pro championship really good, with obviously Jean-Philippe Jank not having the best of rounds at the moment within here. So yeah, all to play for race number 3.
Yeah, it's I'm going to try to do the points in just a moment, so I tried to calculate roughly what the standings are. But wow, I really thought that Janka had this one in the bag, but a sub-optimal performance from him and an amazing performance from Behrens has really flung it wide open. I have no idea what's going on in the amateurs. I guess Dominguez is doing enough at the moment, but with Will not having a particularly good day. But again, that is still up for grabs.
Yeah, it certainly is. As we quickly run through the races, Jekyll Behrens getting first place. Daniel Silva-Savo, who was obviously on for the pole, but had an incident with Aaron Smith there into the last chicane. Jensen Aronson in third place. Miro Boraski in fourth. Aaron Smith fifth. Alexander Scoret in sixth. Jan-Philippe Jank in seventh. And Dara Adjunson, the other brother, in eighth. The top of the AMs was Alex Rodenberg, with Gabo Sabo in 10th, Russ Fowler in 11th, Pedro Dominguez in 12th, Jarrett Will in 13th, and our race 3 reverse grid pole sitter, Jacob Paris in 14th, Angelo Favo 15th, Simon Ball in 16th, Mark Charpentier 17th, Thomas Sorensen, Jay Walsh and Jack Reeve all pretty much going out of the race within the first couple of laps. So really interesting race 3. So just a big shout out to our YouTube viewers. If you're liking what you see, then please give us a thumbs up on this broadcast, and obviously click on that bell. We do many series here on Apex Racing TV. So on Mondays we have this, that's then going to have a new Mazda MX-5 that obviously, if you fancy it, head over to apexracingleague.com and just sign up for that. Tuesday we're coming into the end of the GT Trophy Pro, and we've got a new GT AM series, so anybody under, I think it's 2.5k, can enter into the AM Championship for that one. Wednesdays we've got the Radical, the last 3 rounds of the Radical, and then after that we've got a new series starting up there. Thursdays, I think we got, that's empty at the moment. We're looking at another one. If you want to correct me there, Sam, what we got on Thursdays? I can't remember. Fridays, we've got the new Porsche 922 Cup Challenge. We're into round 3 this week. On Saturdays, we got the Formula Renault 2.0 Championship happening on Sundays. We've just finished season 5 of the GTE Championship, so lots to view here on Apex Racing TV. So give us a like, subscribe to the channel and click that bell, and you'll never miss any one of our wonderful broadcasts here on Apex Racing TV. So really interesting third racing prospect we've got coming up, Sam, and Jacko Behrens putting himself in prime position to possibly try and take this pro championship.
Yeah, I'm just trying to do the points, and it's close. So in race 1, Behrens managed to outscore Janka by 14 points. In race 2, Behrens outscored Janka by 20 points. Gap going into this round was 36 points, so the gap is 2 points with 1 race to go between Janka and Behrens in the hands of Janka. So he's got that 2-point advantage, and he's starting much further up on the grid. But the gap's been pretty much obliterated tonight because of those 2 race wins. I mean, Scoret and Co totally out of that one right now. I'm not sure about the amateur standings, but I think it's looking very good for Pedro Dominguez at the moment with a healthy advantage. Jarrett will would really need to get an overall podium, I think, with Dominguez way down the order, and Sabo again similar. I think he'd need an overall podium in order to win the championship. But yeah, in the overall, pretty much whoever wins out of Janka and Behrens will win the title, providing that both of them finish up in the top 8. So, wow, this is going to be a lot of fun. And of course, one of the prizes that these drivers are fighting over is some SDK Gaming licenses, some subscriptions. And of course, SDK Gaming provides our amazing overlay that you see up on screen. It provides all the graphics and also all the live timing for us guys to follow, along with exactly what's going on around the circuit. It's also great as well as a heads-up display. So has a fuel calculator and displays all the information that you need for whilst you're racing in a sprint race or maybe an endurance race as well. So do check out sdk-gaming.co.uk for more details on that. Yeah, what a tight one this is. This is really the scenario that we dream of. After 23 races, it's going to come down to the 24th.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think this is what we, hope would happen in this championship. It's a very topsy-turvy championship that we have had in this league at the moment. Obviously, a brand new league, brand new card that a lot of people didn't know at the start. I mean, if we've got viewers that have been watching every race that we've gone through, the difference in standards throughout the seasons has constantly improved. And tonight, I think we're seeing that next step up. That first race was exceptional. Not that many incidents at all. I think most of the cars managing to get past the first lap, but we've got this third race now in front of us, and the championship contenders for that pro, Philip Jank and Behrens, got it all to do to get through the field and try and get through. So Jack Parise on pole, Jarrett Will, Pedro Dominguez, Russ Fowler, Gabo Sabo, Alex Rodenbuck. So a lot of amateur drivers in the front, all amateur drivers in the front 6 positions. Then we go to Alexander Scaret, who's in 9th place, Aaron Smith 10th, Haraski, Jensen, Sivi Savo, Jack Behrens starting in P14, so we've got a lot of positions to make up to try and get onto the back of Jan-Philippe Jank, Favo Andelo and Simon Ball. So yeah, last race of the season, guys. Let's have a really good one to end on, and obviously the Pro Championship massively up for grabs. So let's see what Behrens can do from P14. He's got to get up to P8 to get onto the back and get a position between him and Jank in front of him as we got the red lights going, and we get Paris to set us off for this final round of the Formula V Championship. Oh, great run there for Will to slingshot past Paris to get that first place coming into first. Oh, big incident.
And Yanka was involved, so that could be the championship then.
Wow, oh no, that's a terrible way to end it. What happened there? Oh, off the grid. Does he spin? So we're looking here just further back. He tries to get back Rod and Buck. He's trying, oh no, I think he hits into Savile?
Well, Yanka kind of moved into the middle of 3 cars, so honestly, I think Yanka's got to take some responsibility for that one. He's been very cautious tonight, but that time he was too aggressive. And what's this battle? Oh my goodness, we've got a huge crash. That's 5 cars, I think. Angelo's involved, Charpentier, Ball, Fowler, and Sabe. So that's Sabe's chances of the championship gone. And after all, that Behrens not with a great start, but he's up into 10th position. He's looking very good, and Dominguez up there in 3rd position. So our championship leaders, or now championship leaders, looking very good, almost both decided, and that was how it happened. And lots of, tried to pick apart that. That's, 6 cars involved?
Yeah, I think Behrens is just watching all the carnage go around him and thinking, please don't hit me, please don't hit me, please don't hit me. But managing to get through it and currently in P9. And this is all he needs, because at the moment, Jank is a lap down in P17. So pretty much as long as Behrens can keep it going, it doesn't matter what position he finishes, as long as he's got a car between him and Jan-Philippe Jank, will actually win this Pro Championship. So it looked like Jank lost it for himself off the start line, which is absolutely horrendous for him, and I bet he's kicking himself that aggressive move, certainly off the start of it. He didn't really need to do it. He had lots of places between himself and Behrens to contend with, so didn't really need to be that aggressive at the start, but I suppose that's racing at the end of the day, and unfortunately he's paid the price, and looks like Behrens, who's currently in P9th, is possibly going to walk away with the Pro Championship, as we see at the front of the grid. Dominguez getting in first place over Will in 2nd, so up 2 places to Dominguez. Silva Savo up 10 places in 3rd at the moment. Haraski in 4th, up 7 places. But Jack Reeves there, 15 places up, our top mover and shaker within the grid, up 15 places to P5. I think it probably had something to do with all that carnage that we did have on lap 1 there, Sam.
And we've got a few drivers exiting the pits as well, so have the leaders been able to deal with that well? I think they're all right, but Will and Dominguez, of course, top 2 in the Amateur Championship. Dominguez with a comfortable advantage going into this round. In fact, I think if anything, Sabo had already moved ahead of Will, but I imagine Will move back ahead if it ended like this. So yeah, a little bit of pride at stake here, but Dominguez just needs to make sure that he avoids any collisions. And then we've got quite a few back markers involved in this one. In fact, Sabo, I think, is one of the back markers. Also Andalo and Sharp and TA just lining up behind after their toes back to the pits earlier on. Janka back into the race, so you know, if you know, all hell breaks loose ahead, or if Behrens needs a tow back to the pits, then Janka's still there to pick up the pieces, but of course needs something like that in order to get back the positions that he so desperately needs to win this title. There he is, all the way back there with Fowler just on his tail. Might catch up to a few drivers ahead still. But yeah, not a huge kind of pack out there as Alan Smith just sets the fastest lap of the race. But yeah, starting up nicely actually this race, because really any of the top 10 could still win it. We've got only about 4 seconds separating the top 10 in fact, so whilst they're not all in the same picture at the moment, they all are in very close proximity to one another.
Yeah, definitely. And this may be a completely different mindset now for Behrens in 9th place, because obviously in the first 2 races we saw him super aggressive, you know, pulling out all the stops to get them places, and obviously managing to get them 2 first place finishes. And now he's in the position of P10. He's obviously just lost the position there, to think, well, all I need to do is finish this race. So, you know, completely different mindset from the first 2 races that we've had here tonight for Behrens, in that he just needs to finish. But that, as we see Walsh there doing a unexpected self-spin there into the last chicane. That was a very bit of stunt driving there, doing a 360 and then managing to carry on going. So well done, Jay Walsh. That was 10 out of 10 for car control there.
I'd say it was more car control if he could keep the thing pointing in a straight line, honestly. But yeah, considering the circumstances, he started out. So well done to him. And yeah, so and that's, you know, the worries that Behrens has got. He's got to be careful of those drivers spinning in front of him and try to avoid all of them if he possibly can. Smith with a good lap there, just gets him past Reeve and Parisi. So Smith up into 5th position. He was cruelly denied, honestly, both podiums so far, because race 1 he had a collision when fighting for 3rd, I think. Race 2 he had a collision on the final couple of corners, battling for the race win. So he's kind of due some luck, and he could still win this race. He's only 4.5 seconds off the lead, so very possible for him to make up that gap. I think before, when I was saying that the top 10 were separated by 4 seconds, I think I was getting confused by the timing screen. I think actually 8 seconds separates them, so apologies for that one. But yeah, still fairly close, still lots of opportunities for many. The drivers as Dominguez and Will Batsing out, and these guys need to work together as well, of course, and I've been saying that all night long. No one seems to listen to me, but yeah, they need to figure out who's the fastest driver and let them go ahead, because going side by side into turn 2 as they are, it's just going to invite Huraski and Co onto the back of them.
Yeah, do you feel like obviously these are Lando Norris, and you're the pit lane saying, do you want to come in for new tyres? I think that's what they're listening now with you, and obviously they seem to sort of pay the price here. But as we see, we'll manage to get a little slight bit of gap here over Dominguez, but I'm pretty sure he's still within slipstream range, so that gap will be closed coming down into the hairpin. But you can see there the top 5-6 drivers not that far away from each other, so anybody's race at the moment. But we got 2 amateurs at the front, Will and Dominguez, and then we've got 3 pros behind them, Huraski, Civil Savile and Smith in 5th place. And yeah, I feel a bit sorry for Smith for tonight. Done really well in the first couple of races, and unfortunately a couple of incidents has put pay to him getting that winning streak of his that he's been having for the past 3 rounds. Sort of comes to the end on the last one, but you know, he was there or thereabouts, so he may be able to do something and try and pull himself up. As we see, the gap there on screen wasn't that big, and obviously it has put in the fastest lap of the race at the moment, so he's still got it all to do, but lots of cars around him. at the moment, as Dominguez comes down to third place. So Araski managing to take second, and Will taking a rather exceptional line there through turn number 2, compromises it, and Araski will take this win. Will take this first place off Will, and Dominguez will probably get through on the inside. So as you can see with these cars, because they're relatively slow cars, so you need to get them pace up. If you hit a corner or you hit the grass and you scrub off a load of speed, it takes an eternity in these cars to try and get the speed back up, and we see him drop from first place down to 4th place at the moment, but getting on the back of this train, so we'll gather up the slipstream, so can come again if he can on this race. But at the moment we've got Araski. Civil Savo managing to take second place off Dominguez, Will still in third, but Smith on 5th place, so in a good position at the moment to see if he can actually leapfrog and try and get this illustrious race win for his 4th round in a row. But at the moment it's going to be a tall order, with, as we see, these lots of drivers in front of us. As going on board with Jarrett Will in 4th place, fighting it out really hard. It's really good to see up here coming into second, that blind sort of crest, and then the turn coming down into turn 3 as you come down. If you imagine 2 card wide going into that corner, you can see how you can get offline and lose a lot of time coming down into this very fast downhill section, but all managing to stay in the line at the moment. So good poise to the end of this race to see who can take that race win in the very last race of the season.
Yes, I think this is where it's going to start kicking off. Now we're going to see 3 wide between these drivers. Will always looking, he wants to make it 3 wide. I don't think there's really any goodness going to come out from that. Kind of back out of it. This does make up 1 place, maybe even 2 positions as well, actually. Burns 7 seconds behind these drivers, so really not catching too much at the moment. So probably not going to play too much of a part. And Smith, I think, is probably, at least for me, the favourite to win this one. Seeing that he's been so unlucky, usually that stuff evens out eventually. And he's due a bit of luck as well. That was super duper close. And remember, Dominguez doesn't absolutely have to finish this race, but he needs to if he can to win the championship. And now there is contact, and Dominguez is still going. Fortunately, that was tyre to tyre. I think he hasn't got any damage, but Dominguez is running this one too risky. Just finish the race, man, and win the title.
Wow, I thought that was going to end in tears there for Aaron Smith again for race 3 over Dominguez. How he missed him coming around that corner, I do not know, but Smith managing to get up into 3rd place. And on the trail now, a little bit of a gap for 1st and 2nd, Civil Savo, and Will manage to get away with all the fighting that's happening here for this 3rd place between Araski, Smith and Dominguez, but they seem to be clawing it back in slightly. They need to work together, like you say, Sam, to get these in so they can pull them back in and make it a grandstand finish rather than having 2 cars battle. But one thing that is in favour at the moment, I think Behrens is pretty much in free air at the moment, so he's probably in the best position. I think he's tucked up behind Jensen Adjunson at the moment to be able to do, but this battle for 3rd place is going to go down to the wire here at the moment, and it's going to be constantly shoving and passing all the way to the line.
And yeah, just a reminder of the championship situation heading into this race 3. We had Yanka ahead of Burns by 2 points. Currently, Burns would outscore Yanka by 6 points. So he would win the title by 4 points, and there's no sign of Yanka making up any places. He's 10 seconds behind Ball at the moment, 6 seconds behind Adjunsons, then even further behind Jay Walsh. So gonna have too much time to gain. But Burns, just stay where you are. Well, at the same time, of course, we could have post-race penalties as well, in which case you do want to make up as many places as you can, and that is what Burns is doing. He's up to 6th position then, passing both Reeve and Adjunsons, and you can see that lead pack is ahead as well. They were 6 seconds behind the lead pack, were these trio. They're now only 3.5 seconds behind. They're catching by about a second a lap. You'll see on this time out, Burns will be in the 1:11s, and meanwhile, yeah, the drivers ahead in the 12s. So as Dominguez is dropping down to 5th position then, so he's been the loser that time round on that little batter. And then they've also got it's that Andalo and Sabo just at the back of this chain, who are back markers, who are kind of just hitching a ride on the toe.
Yeah, definitely. It's all hotting up for this third place, last of the podiums, and obviously Aaron Smith really dearly wants that race win to keep his race win trio alive for the past 4 races. But he's got a tall order here now, and the problem is he's fighting extremely hard on the risk. He's just not working with him to try and pull it back in. So, like you said, they're just losing time at the moment, and you know, in the risk of Behrens getting on the back of this group, although we've only got 2 minutes left, so another 2 laps to go within to finish off this championship. So I think that's probably a tall order, but that's just where Behrens needs to be at the moment. P6, you know, Jank in 14th place, in no man's land. He just needs to make sure he keep it clean to the line. Barring any penalties, the championship will be his. But certainly bragging rights in this little battle of who's going to come out on top at the moment. It's Smith, followed by Haraski, followed by Dominguez, and Behrens is currently in 6th place at the moment. I think he's coming on to the back of these group a little bit at the moment. A little bit way off, but currently Smith leading the battle here in 3rd place, managing to pull a little bit of a gap over Haraski, who's fighting extremely hard with Dominguez at the moment for 4th and 5th place. So letting Smith get slightly away from him, but I'm pretty sure that gap will close up.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And gap's minimal. They're halfway down the straight. It's insane, isn't it? You gain half a second down half of that flat out section. Back to the front of it then is Haraski. Just makes the corner, but then of course he's going to have a rubbish exit here. Well, going on the grass isn't going to help his exit either, but even if he had kept it on the tarmac, would have had a poor exit, and Smith gets back past anyway. Well, this trio honestly probably could have caught up, honestly, but they've been battling too much. I don't know why everyone's battling so much, and maybe I'm being maybe I'm being a bit harsh on them, but you know, you want to win the race, don't you? And instead they're kind of just being all battling one another and costing each other time and denying any chance of that. But well, here we see it again, although this is the last lap, I will certainly excuse this one. And Smith back to the front then, but I think honestly you want to be Haraski in this situation. I think you want to be sitting a little bit further back and get the toe around this part of the circuit, because you gain quite as much as you do.
Yeah, we obviously saw the same scenario the previous lap with Haraski managing to get past Smith, but had a terrible exit where Smith got it out. So if Haraski's going to do the same, he needs to make sure that he gets a really good exit, as we currently watch first place. Silver Savile trying to get past Silver Savile there, but unfortunately not getting it done. So Silver Savile will win this, but a great finish for Will in 2nd place. But this battle for third is going all the way down to the line. Aaron Smith right on the back of Haraski now, trying to get down side by side coming over. So here's our grandstand finish between the two of them, Aaron Smith and Haraski. But I think Haraski managing to get it done at the line over Smith. Dominguez comes in 5th, your 2nd place in the AM, and Reeves gets the last of the podium places in P6. Adderson in 7th. Behrens managed to get an 8th, so at the moment he will be winning, by any protest, winning that Pro Championship after a terrible mistake there at the start of the race by Jan-Philippe Jank, which put paid to it. But you know, an exceptional ride by Behrens, this getting race 1 and race 2 wins, which put him in really good position for this. I mean, Jan-Philippe Jank probably felt the pressure a little bit, Sam, thinking that he had to get away because he knew how fast Behrens was on this track.
Yes, yeah, and I think, yeah, that the race through maybe wasn't where the championship was lost. I think it was probably in race 1 and race 2, where, or race 2 at least, where, you know, those cars formed behind. And remember, if it weren't for that collision between the top 2 at the end of that race 2, maybe it would have been Janka's day, because that was super lucky for Behrens to move up into the lead, get those big points that you get for those race wins. I mean, it's quite a steep point system in those higher positions, and that's really what Behrens got. Who knows what would have happened if it weren't for that in race 3? Maybe Behrens would have won anyway, but I think it would have been advantage Janka. And instead, It is Burns with the title, and of course in the amateurs, we believe Dominguez has done enough to win the amateur championship, and we will try to confirm that whilst we go to the interviews. But as far as I can see, Dominguez will take the title ahead of probably Joe Will, and then Gabor Sabo in third position. But yeah, we'll try to confirm that for you soon.
Yeah, I'll let you do the points. I'll do the first interview there, Sam, so you can do the points. So race 3 results here. Daniel Silva winning the last round of the ARA Formula V Championship here at Road Atlanta Short Course. Jarrett Will in second, top of the AMs. Muriel Haraski third, Aaron Smith fourth, Pedro Dominguez, Jack Reeves, Jensen Everson in seventh, Checo Burns in 8th, Alexander Scrett 9th, Alex Rodenbuck in 10th, Jay Walsh, Dara Adjusson, Simon Ball, Russ Fowler, Jan-Philippe Jank in 15th, Flavio Andalo 16th, Gabor Sabo 17th, Marco Charpentier in 18th. So just finally, last shout out to one of our last remaining sponsors, Apex Racing Academy. They currently have 29 data packs, all included are setups, track guides, weekly group coaching sessions, and it's fully integrated with the virtual racing school system. So if you get both of them, they fully interact with each other and makes your life super simple, and enables you to get a lot faster on the iRacing sim. So head over to apexracingac.com for more information and see what package appeals to you guys. So as we look here, we have 2 people in the waiting area, and I'm going to pull in our race 1 and race 2 and our provisional pro championship winner, Jackal Behrens. So welcome, Jackal Behrens, to the commentary booth. Wow, all I can say is wow, what an exceptional night of racing it was for you. Obviously getting that first place in the first race, and fortunate to get the win in the second, but you just kept in there. And you know, the third race, all you had to do was be just in front of Jan-Philippe Jank, and unfortunately you hit out in the third, which must have made it a little bit easier for you in the end in that race 3. How was it for you, mate?
I'd just first like to tell you, I don't know the points. I haven't done the maths. I think I have it, but I'm not too sure.
I have done the maths. I can confirm. So you know, I'm not so cool to keep you in you know, behind closed doors forever, Jakob. At the moment, and you know, we will double check this, but it looks as though you have won the title by 5 points in the end. I was thinking it was 4 points. I guess you got a 0 incident race in that race 1. I believe you've won by 1,225 to 1,220 points. So congratulations.
Oh,
How do you feel?
Yeah, that feels good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just looking at your season as a whole, you know, the start of the season, you had a few incidences where, you know, it put pay to you, and you probably felt a bit, I'm faster than this, but the points weren't coming. And then sort of, we had a little break, and you come back all renewed, all refreshed, and you just climbed up that leaderboard. And I think, you know, personally, from tonight's race, with how far you were behind at the start of this race to Jan-Philippe Jank, it's exceptional. And you literally, you drove it like you stole it, that car, and you got it around 2 race wins. I don't think we've actually seen that in the championship. We've always had a different winner on each of the races, and yeah, you must be ecstatic now.
Yeah, actually, we have seen that. It was me at Lime Rock Park.
There you go. Man.
just had to shout out myself there. But yeah, oh man, oh, this feels good. I mean, Hockenheim was definitely Lime Rock really was the turn point for me in the championship, because Hockenheim was a really scrappy race. I ended up on my roof and I became a very bold man. But just Lime Rock, that was just an excellent weekend. Well, not weekend, sorry, race session. And then this feels surreal.
So, I mean, obviously, you were hoping for this, but did you actually expect that you could actually win the championship tonight? Or did you feel, you know, second place is where you're probably going to be aiming for?
after while starting the race, when I won the first race, I was like, okay, we can do this as a team, like me and Scarrett. And then second race, I got lucky with the win. And then I think Janky sent me a message saying that there's 2 points between us and you're leading. So at that point, I was like, okay, I can't do this. But there was still 7 positions to climb, and then I had to pass Janke himself. Sadly, Janke had an incident on the start. I don't know what happened exactly, but just after that point, I was like, okay, just bring it home, bring it home, bring it home. And yeah, he came home.
Yeah. So did that actually change your mindset in that race 3? Because obviously the first 2 races you were just like, do you know what, I'm going to go for this and I need to do maximum points. But obviously that race 3 was completely different, where you had a different mindset that you, like you said there, you just had to bring it home. So did that change the way you drove the car in race number 3?
Yeah, I think when we saw me, well, in race 2, I was with one of the Adrianson's boys. Okay, so I don't know their gender. I was all race, I was just juggling with him, and we got into like this symphony where, okay, we agreed that to catch the pack in front, we can't battle each other. So we just traded position a few times, and then last lap we went for it, and luckily I got the top half there. But in the third race, I was just trying to do that again, and then I can't remember his name, dropped down. So it was a battle between 6 to 6, 7, 8, or 7, 8, 9. And I think I went for tried to hold my position into the last chicane, which that could have ended a lot worse.
It could have, yeah. I think Sam was saying, why are you doing this? You don't need to do this. And I completely agreed. It was like heart in the mouth moment, but you brought it home, and congratulations at the moment with the provisional Pro Championship winner for the inaugural season of the Formula V Championship. Before we let you go, mate, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Okay, I have 2 people. My team, of course, IGL Coatings. Just massive being with them. They're so nice. And then special thank you to my teammate Scarrett, who got me to sign up for this league. I wasn't planning on it, but he got me to sign up. I entered 1 minute on overtime, and he's been awesome all season. He's been really fun to talk with, and he's also great fun in practice. We battle a lot, so I think we mutually have both improved a lot, and this is definitely a hit to him. This championship. This is all the hard work he put in to be able to put us in a position like this. And also, I'd like to shout out Jean-Philippe Bianca. Just stellar season, really. Bad luck on the start line on the last race. I really would have liked it to go down to the last corner, last lap. Of course, I would have liked to come out first again, well, ideally. But it's surreal, man. I have a chocolate. I'm going to eat that.
Well, congratulations, mate, and hopefully we'll see you back for season 2 to try and keep hold of that championship. So thanks for joining us, Jacob, and congratulations, mate.
Yeah, thanks for hosting. Bye.
There was Jacob Behrens, who seemed extremely excited there, Sam, which to be expected, you know, after the races we've had, the season that he's had, this season started off quite poorly. But then, like you said, from Lime Rock Park onwards, he's pretty much come on strong and shown his pace.
Yeah, it's quite nice to hold the emotions of a man in your hands, and so it was nice when I could say he won the title. Just a quick rundown of the championships, by the way. So in the Pro drivers, Behrens ahead of Janka. Honestly, I mean, Scarrett, Sirisabo, Smith, Huraski, they're all close at the end, but it was Scarrett who ended up in third position. We'll have a chat with him in just a moment. In the amateurs, Dominguez was the champion, 18 points ahead of Jet Will. So had Will won that race and had Dominguez dropped down a little bit further, well, maybe it could have been close, but Dominguez in the end with 18 points of an advantage. Gabor Sabe having a very good round, ending up in third position. And in the teams championship, which we haven't really talked about too much because it's not been too close, but IGL Coatings winning that, as they did do in the F3 championship, I believe, or certainly in the top 3 in the F3 championship, ahead of SCB Sim Racing Group and Indie Autosport rounding out the top 3. So congratulations to all of them. That is all subject to post-race penalties. It could still change, but at least from what I saw, Baron's avoiding any collisions out there that would put him at risk of being inquired by the stewards. Next interview, we will have a chat with Alexander Scoret, because in the end it wasn't the championship winning day that I'm sure you were dreaming of, Alexander, but I imagine you're very pleased for Jakob.
Yeah, it was. It started really good. The first race was really good, but yeah, we nailed the title and the team championship. We crushed it, so can't be anything else but happy.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, as you say, that race one was really good from both of you guys, because it seemed like it was just going to be a case of everyone battling one another all the way to the 15 minutes. How were you able to break away from the pack, yourself and your teammate?
I was when I was in second and I saw Jacob got nearly a second. I thought, okay, now I get to fight hard to just keep the second and let Jacob go. But then third and fourth started in fight, so I got a gap too, and then it was just sailing.
Definitely, yeah, that was really good stuff for you there. And then the race two, unfortunately, didn't quite go your way. It was still a really good comeback, to be fair, in that race too, because if I recall correctly, I think you were down in last at one point, and then you managed to get back up to 6th place. You even overtook Yanka as well, so you must have been pleased with that.
Yeah, I was really lucky and unlucky on that. Someone spun in front of me in turn 3, and I barely missed them and turned into the grass, and I scraped the wall all the way down and didn't really touch the wall, so I was really lucky to get away with it, and I was just fighting my way up.
And then that race 3, forgive me, I don't recall too much of it, to be honest, because so much was going on. But how was that one? You seemed a bit by yourself at the end.
I was really out before it started. Someone stalled it at the grid, and Jank hit that person, and then just got straight on across to the track and took both me and Jank into the pits. So we didn't even get to the start straight. So that was, yeah.
Yeah, a bit of a disappointing end there, but yeah, I mean, in terms of the team's championship, you guys in the F3 championship, I was just trying to look, I was trying to see what position you finished in that, but generally IGL in Apex Racing League, you guys are doing very well at the moment.
Yeah, I just dropped out of the last because I had to prioritize one, and then I chose the Wii, so of course. So, but IGL doing really good now, so that's fun.
And after this season, what is your focus going to be on? Are you going to be maybe driving a bit more in the Formula V, or going to be looking to race other cars now?
It's a Norwegian Formula 3 championship coming up, so I'm gonna focus on that this year at least, and then after that I don't really know, but the Wii is so great racing, so I might be trying that more.
Well, we hope to see you back in one of our leagues in the future, Alexander. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
I need to congrats to my teammate. That was an awesome drive today. If he had more luck, he could have won all 3. So, and we had great fun. So thanks to him for everything. And we'll see you in another Apex League.
Awesome. Thanks for having a chat with us, Alexander, and being around for the whole season. Yeah, see you back very soon.
Yes.
Alexander Scuret there, having a decent points haul tonight. 2nd place in race 1, 6th place in race 2, and 9th place in race 3. Ends up 3rd position in the championship, narrowly beating Daniel Civi Sabo, and gets himself a trophy and a few prizes as well, which is all good stuff. And of course, also part of IG Arcade Teams, who along with their F3 title on Saturday, or last Saturday, 10 days ago, they also get this championship as well. So that is a couple of teams championships in the space of a fortnight for that team. So congratulations to them.
We're all in the single seaters, it seems.
Yes, definitely. I mean, yeah, watch out for them.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we've got Aaron Smith. We'll just have a last quick chat with Aaron before we wrap things up. So, Aaron, welcome to the commentary booth. I thought you were going to do it again. I thought you were going to get that race win, which would have been 4 on the bounce for you. Obviously, unfortunately, in race 2 there, last corners issue there into the chicane, which put paid to both yourselves and Daniel Silversaro. But, you know, some great racing, and you certainly had the pace tonight, and just didn't quite put it together by the end.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's racing. These things happen. And tonight was not my night at all. In all 3 races, my luck just diminished each time. You know, getting just absolutely mauled in race 2 really didn't help. Zabo just got oversteer, trying to overtake me around the final corner and crashed into me, so it is what it is. But, I mean, it was still a fun season. You know, I can't just reflect on just today. The whole season was a bunch of fun. It's just a shame that I had to end it on not the way I wanted to, but it's still a fun series, and if there is another season, I may end up doing it.
Yeah, don't sound too disappointed in yourself, mate. Obviously, you didn't have the best start to the season, pretty much like Jacob, but, you know, the second half of the season, I mean, the whole field really is vastly improved over that first round in Laguna Seca all them weeks ago that we had. That I think me and Sam both thought to ourselves, what we let ourselves in for? It's pretty much commentating on the car park that was turn number 1. But as we've gone through the rounds, you've all got to grips with this car, and you certainly have, mate. So I wouldn't be too disheartened about the race. Tonight you were fast. You know, you had the pace, you got the fastest lap, I think, there in race number 3. Race 2, you were on the cusp of another victory. And, you know, you think four races ago, you were down in somewhere like, I think, 11th or 12th pace in the championship. And I think you pretty much ended in the top half of the championship. So the second half of the season for yourself has been stellar. You've fought your way back up there to be even in with a slim shout tonight for getting up there into the top 3. But if you were looking like 5-6 rounds ago, that wasn't even a possibility. So, you know, from that, mate, take the positives off that and yeah, go forward, and we do hope to see you again in round 2 in season 2, hopefully, and you'll take what you've learned from here and start off really strong. So, you know, congratulations in the second half of the season. So yeah, definitely, mate.
Oh, that's really kind of you to say. I do agree. I do think the first half I had no idea what I was doing, and second half has been a lot better. Today definitely felt really good. It's just, you know, the outcomes weren't as I hoped, but yeah, as you said, I've had some pretty good results the final few rounds, and to get 5th in the championship, I think, you know, it could have been a lot worse. So
it certainly could have.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is the first season of the Formula V. I mean, overall, how's it been? You know, there has been a lot of crashes, there has been a lot of incidents on track, but has that put paid to the way that you feel in the championship, or has you've just enjoyed it and it's actually been a really fun series to drive in?
It has been really fun from time to time. It's just some days are better than others is all. You know, I've had some bad rounds this season, I've had some good rounds, but at the end of the day, I will look fondly on this season. I've had a lot of fun, especially like the last 4 rounds. They've been a lot of fun to do, and as you said, I think everyone's sort of started to get to grips with how to drive this thing. It just seems like tonight we kind of forgotten again, but Yeah, it's been really fun, and I think I'll definitely sign up for season 2 and possibly have a go at the championship.
Well, you're in
whatever.
good stead too, mate. You're in good stead too. So, well, thanks for joining us in the commentary box. Before we let you go, Aaron, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Massive thanks to Apex for putting on this series. It's probably been one of the most fun that they've ever put on, and it's been really good to meet some pretty fast people in here. Especially people like Barons, Alex. You know, they've all been great to race against, and I really hope that we can do this again because it was a lot of fun. And obviously, it wouldn't be anything without the commentators. You guys do an amazing job every single time, and I enjoy watching these races back. They're so much fun to watch. And my team, Zem Racing, they've been fantastic throughout this whole season. Jack, especially, has been really good for his first season in this car, and we hope we can do a lot better in season 2.
Well, I'm sure we will, and we look forward to seeing you there, taking on from where you've left off for this season. So thanks for joining us, Aaron, in the commentary box. That was Aaron Smith there, who had a good start, a good end to the season. Pretty much not a great start, but I think that's the story of this championship, Sam, is that, you know, we saw that first round in Laguna Seca, and it was pretty terrible. I'm not gonna lie, but ever since then, the races, as it's gone on, has got a lot better. The driving's got a lot better, and it's sort of understanding the car being the first season. But, you know, what a great end to the championship we've had here at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, it's been really good to see the drivers stick around, honestly. I think that's the thing that I'm most pleased about. The fact that we've had 20-odd drivers for pretty much every single race. And of course, the fact that, you know, the draft effect is so strong. The fact that this is a fixed setup series has really enabled everyone to keep competitive. Lots of different race winners and a really good championship battle as well. So we really cannot complain whatsoever about the season. And yeah, hopefully the drivers have enjoyed it, and hopefully when season 2 comes around, we get lots of new sign-ups as well, because yeah, this Formula V car I think has a lot of potential.
Yeah, definitely. So that brings us to the end of the Formula V Championship. So congratulations to our provisional pro winner, Jack Behrens, and our AM winner, Pedro Dominguez. So there are 2 winners from our pro and our AM, barring any penalties. So a big thank you to our 3 main sponsors of this championship: Virtual Racing School, SDK Gaming, and Apex Racing Academy, who are kindly donating all the prizes to the top 3 winners of each of the classes here tonight. So it's been an exceptional 27 races over 9 rounds. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, but this is the end of the season 1 of the ARL Formula V Championship. Don't be too disheartened though, because next Monday we do have the brand new season 3 of the Mazda Cup starting up here on a Monday night. So all the rookie challenges on a Monday night with this and the Mazda are still alive and kicking. So join us for next week on Monday for the first round of the season 3 of the Mazda Cup. So from myself, Andrew Thompson, from Sam Fitzpatrick alongside me in commentary, from Samuel Kumo in the production booth, finally say good night and look forward to seeing you in season 2 in the near future. Good night.